Throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, but Canada's only Hall of Famer, Ferguson Jenkins, the pride of Chatham, Ontario, who was here today to celebrate the 142nd birthday of this great country. And if I was Scott Richmond, I'd be asking for his autograph too.
You know, and what new? Right from the top of the mound, and he threw a strike. What new?
Perfect. Great to see Fergie Jenkins in the building on a spectacular day for baseball. However, the Blue Jays have dropped 4 in a row, and this is one very good lineup. And they're anchored by Carl Crawford, who made his major league debut in this very building on July 20th of 2002. He's riding a 9-game hit streak. And there is so much speed at the top of the order with Upton and then Crawford. This is a team starting to produce the Tampa Bay Rays after going 9-14 in the month of April.
Well, they can just hurt you in so many different ways. They've got the power, they've got the speed, they've got good hitters. B.J. Upton got him off to a really good start in last night's ball game.
First pitch of the game, in fact, from Scott Richmond, ended up over the fence in left center field. And so the Rays went on to their second consecutive victory over the Blue Jays, and now Toronto is just looking to get out of town and head for New York with 1 win in this series. And their chances are awfully good based on the way that Ricky Romero has been pitching lately.
Yeah, you're right. He has been pitching great. He held the Phillies hitless for 6 innings in his last start. That leadoff hit by Chase Utley in the 7th inning was their first hit. He left after 7 scoreless innings, walking 1 and striking out 7. That's the last time the Blue Jays won a ball game. The scouting report for the left-hander this afternoon: low in the zone. He's got to keep his fastball down. This is a very good hitting Rays team who like the ball up. He's got a good curveball, but I think he has a better changeup. If he's got both of those pitches working, he's going to be just fine. Back on track. 3 starts of at least 7 innings pitched, 21 total innings in his last 3 starts. He's only given up 5 earned runs, so he's a hot pitcher, as is Tampa Bay starter James Shields. Here is how they will line up defensively this afternoon. Sam mentioned it at the top of the show, some changes in the outfield. Bautista gets the start in right. Rios shifts over to center field. Adam Ling grabs his glove and goes out into left field. Roland Scudero, Hill, and Overbay, the fine defenders in the middle of the field for the Jays. And Rob Barajas, after a night off last night, back behind the dish.
Romero takes his place on the rubber as B.J. Upton steps in. And on Canada's birthday, we say welcome from coast to coast. Thank you for joining us, and a special hello to everybody watching in Europe on ESPN America. It's the Blue Jays and Rays this afternoon. Jamie Campbell is with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino.
We mentioned the home run by B.J. Upton, and he hasn't been leading off for long. He's been hitting second, sometimes third in the lineup for Madden over the years. That was just his second leadoff home run of his career. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more from this youngster.
Ricky Romero falls behind very quickly here, 3-0. And the pitch is high, 4 pitches in. The seats are just getting warm, and Romero walks a speedster. So Upton is on for Carl Crawford.
Well, that is something that he has controlled over his last few starts. Just that 1 walk against Philadelphia. There'll be some pressure put on that man right here, Rod Barajas, today with all the speed that the Rays have.
Barajas kneels down, and it gives us a look at home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. And now Carl Crawford steps in. Seems to love playing here. Home runs in the first 2 games in this series. And the pitch from Romero misses. 1-0. Finally a strike thrown. So that evens the count at 1-1.
Generally speaking, the Rays like to run early in the count. You go back and look at their games, Upton and Crawford, they like to get out there.
They got him.
They like to get out there and run early, and Romero tricks him with the step-off move.
A timely pickoff, too. Romero, who walked him on 4 pitches, gets the out the hard way.
Remember, this is the Rays' first look at Ricky Romero also. Caught him kind of leaning, taking that last step out onto the turf. Such an advantage for a left-handed pitcher to be able to do that. Scott Downs does it for the Jays, and now we see Ricky Romero.
On the 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and just like that, 2 gone, bases clear as Crawford strikes out.
Didn't start off well, but
no,
looking good now. A couple of pitches later, 2 outs and nobody on. There's that good curveball from Romero.
Evan Longoria now, who has 63 RBIs this year, number 3 in the American League. And on Canada Day, we're happy to announce that the 2 ahead of him are both Canadians. Jason Bay with 69, Justin Morneau with 64. Canadians are 1 and 2 in the RBI category. But here's Longoria after winning Rookie of the Year. And someday, this is not a stretch, Pat, you'll probably see him win an MVP.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's how much talent he has. He's got great hands, great vision at the plate, and he means so much to this team. He did not start in last night's ball game, but did come off the bench in a pinch hitting role and pick up a sacrifice fly. Struggling in his last 7 games. They've been kind of guarding against a hamstring injury for Longoria.
Breaking ball in for strike 3, and Romero strikes him out. And after walking Upton on 4 pitches to lead off the game, gets the pickoff and 2 Ks. And now the Jays come to as evident by the lineup card today. No Vernon Wells. That is the case. The center fielder is out. Alex Rios takes his place. Look at Scott Rowland, who's riding an 18-game hit streak. However, be warned, he is 0 for 9 career against the starting pitcher today for the Tampa Bay Rays. They've got some good young arms in their franchise, including the man on the mound, James Shields. Vernon will watch from the bench as Marco Scutaro steps in to lead off against Shields. And the first pitch is down to Scutaro.
You mentioned good young arms. This guy is the oldest in their starting rotation at just 27 years old, looking to continue his run of solid outings. Pitched into the 7th inning for the 8th straight time for Tampa Bay in his last start. Picked up a no decision, but the important thing is for him, and he said it after the game, is the Rays won the game eventually. Their 5th win in the last 6 times that Shields has taken them out.
Down goes Scutaro, 3-0.
This one just got away from him. You can see where Michael Hernandez, the catcher this afternoon, setting up away, and that one just got away from Shields, who's got great control.
He certainly does. Shields has walked only 3 batters in his last 5 starts combined. But he's dealing with a 3-1 count here to Scutaro. And the pitch is popped up into shallow right field, and in comes Kapler for the first out. Next man up is Aaron Hill. Aaron's certainly made his share of base hits this year. And he's facing a pitcher who averages over 7 hits allowed per game in James Shields.
Leads the club in multi-hit games with 33. The thing about Shields is you know he's going to be around the plate, so you have to go up there with a good idea, and I think a very aggressive thought pattern. Talked about it in the opening. Ricky Romero is the same way. He's going to be around the plate. He's going to throw strikes. So you don't want to find yourself into a hole early in the count. Get up there, first good one you see, let it rip.
Shields into his motion. The pitch is well off the plate, 2-1. Hill now sits on 19 home runs. His 2 latest coming Sunday against the Philadelphia Phillies. And he watches that pitch low and away, so it's 3-1. For the second straight batter, we see Shields getting behind in the count.
Now we have to take advantage of it. Marco missed his pitch. It looked like it was a fastball right there. He popped it up. Now a chance for Hill to do something.
And he pops that one up, but it's out of play. Aaron is hitting a very respectable 305 as Shields makes his 9th start against the Jays. And on 3-2, here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Hill goes down looking, and there are 2 away as we get a scouting report on the young right-hander.
Well, he can really command the fastball. His fastball about 89 to 92, but it's his command to both sides of the plate that makes him tough to hit. You'll see changeups anytime in the sequence from Shields. He's also got a curveball and a good slider, but changeups any times, and he makes good adjustments when he's out on that mound. I think he just did it right there against Aaron Hill. He got behind him throwing sliders away. He made the adjustment 3-2 where he threw a slider and Aaron took it for strike 3.
Hitting third for the Blue Jays today is Adam Lind. Adam certainly had a June to remember. He hit 7 of his 15 home runs in the month of June. 1-1 from Shields, and the pitch is drilled foul. Swung on and missed, and there goes Lynn. The Blue Jays go down in order, 1, 2, and 3. After 1, no score. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. or iPod Touch with the At Bat app. Have Major League Baseball always available to you, no matter where you are. For more information, please visit BlueJays.com. One inning in the books here in Toronto. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. No score as Ricky Romero starts the second with Carlos Pena. And Romero off the mound quickly to make the play as he combines with Overbay for the out.
You know, don't be surprised that you see Carlos Pena do that with the exaggerated shift that the Blue Jays have. He is fourth on this team in bunt hits. He's got 3 this year. He tries to do it, but a good athletic play right there by Ricky Romero to run that ball down and get the out.
He almost pulled it off.
He did that last night that I thought was really, really smart in a close game. Willie Ibar had led off the game with the inning with a single. I believe it was the 8th inning. And you saw that exaggerated shift that the Blue Jays put on when Pena is up. He tried to lay down a sacrifice bunt to the third base side. It would have been a base hit easily.
Well, here's Ben Zobrist. Hitting .290 with 16 home runs. Little surprising to some.
He is on pace, and I don't know if he's going to keep up that pace, but he is on pace for 35 home runs this year. This is a guy who had just 38 career home runs in the majors and the minor leagues combined. So really, it started last year for him. Got a little bit stronger. Started swinging very aggressively up there. And with the injury to Akinori Uemura, the second baseman, he has now played 33 of the last 34 days and putting together a career year.
Here comes Romero in the 2-2 pitch. Zobrist lays off at 3-2. Ball is slapped to right field, and it bounces in front of Bautista, and now Zobrist stretches for second, sliding it in safely. Some serious base running there from Ben Zobrist, and he picks up a double.
Well, we've talked about the speed and how aggressive they are. This double was made right out of the box by Ben Zobrist. Looked like a ball that was off the end of the bat a little bit, kind of inside outs it, but he reads that it's going to fall, and he hustles all the way. Bautista does everything he can to make a good throw, but Zobrist just out hustles that ball. Watch him come out of that box, and he's running hard all the way. He's thinking 2. Good aggressive base running right there by Zobrist.
Here's Pat Burrell now. That's the kind of play that always impresses Joe Madden. The skipper of the Tampa Bay Rays asks for one thing, and that's your best effort every time.
Well, if you want to play, that's the kind of effort you have to show every day. You got to be smart.
There's ground ball to Scudero. He throws out Burrell, dug out nicely by Overbay. And this shouldn't surprise you. This being Canada Day, the main topic of conversation on our network will be the National Hockey League, because today is the first day of NHL free agency, and throughout the game there'll be updates with the Hockey Central panel. If things develop, you'll hear about it here first. Romero deals now with Jason Bartlett. Hitting a torrid .366. He was kind of the forgotten man in that trade with the Minnesota Twins, but you're looking at a guy not only hitting for average, but a very good defensive player.
Yeah, he is very good, and the baseball people know what kind of baseball player Jason Bartlett is. Really was the glue for that infield last year, and they missed him when he was hurt this year. You mentioned him hitting .366. That's just in 216 at bats because of the injuries that he has had this year. Not surprising that they have taken off the Rays since he has come back.
Tampa Bay has won 7 in a row entering today's ball game. Zobrist leads off second after a double. With 2 out, the number 7 hitter, Jason Bartlett, is up there. And Romero gets a strike. Three and two. Swung on and fly to center field for Alex Rios. Up next, R.J. Broadhead with an update on anything developing in the NHL. We'll be back to Rogers Center right after this. Brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. An 8-12 record on Canada Day for the Blue Jays at home, and a terrible 2-7 at Exhibition Stadium.
It's been a couple of years since they've played a home game.
It has.
Here on Canada Day.
I'm used to celebrating this day in Seattle for some reason. Which is always nice because you normally have about 10,000 Canadians there anyway. As Scott Rowland leads off for the Blue Jays in the bottom half of the second.
First time they've played here at home since 2006 when they played the Phillies.
Rowland pops up the second pitch here. And Zobrist shields his eyes. In comes Kapler from right field. And so the right fielder makes the play, although it was Zobrist settling under the ball.
He was really struggling with it. He does not have his sunglasses on. The ball went up in the air, and he immediately tried to shield his eyes, and I think he lost it. Kapler with the sunglasses down. You can see him really struggling with this high pop-up from Rowland, but then he is eventually called off by Kapler, who makes the easy catch. He wasn't really near that ball at all. Time to call timeout and go in and get the sunglasses.
We'll check on him in the third to see if he's wearing them then, as Lyle Overbay steps in.
Excuse me, Jamie. Pena was just signaling into the bench to bring the sunglasses out.
There's a strike from Shields. As Pat mentioned, James Shields, just 27 years of age. from Newhall, California. Tom Foley's helping look for those shades. And the appeal to third says Overbay went around.
That's Davey Martinez, the bench coach, a former outfielder. Now he's got to find somebody to run him out there.
It kind of begs the question.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when the game began? Roof was open. It was sunny. Swung on and missed. Beautiful pitch inside, and that gets Overbay swinging. So here is Carlos Pena. He's decided, okay, listen, if Zobrist is going to mess up, I'm not going to be.
I'm not going to have a
lesson
reason.
learned.
Yeah. No excuses.
They trust him. They trust Ben here. There's Kevin Millar. Now, Pat, that's a sign as to how things have changed with the Tampa Bay Rays, defending American League champions. I don't remember seeing them play here and have signs posted in favor of the visiting squad. They've got a fan base coming to Toronto now.
I never saw signs down in Tampa.
No, that's a great point.
Hola Pena.
People are traveling to see the Rays, and with good reason. This is a good ball club. Here's the DH Kevin Millar. He whacks it foul, 2-1. It's hard to tell today which team is the Blue Jays, but they are the ones wearing red on Canada Day. They're everywhere. They're in the hotel. As Millar pops it up. And now Zobrist battling that sun again. And so in comes Upton. What do you think the message to Zobrist will be when he gets back to the bench?
They'll be waiting for him. The sunglasses.
Authenticated and auctioned off at BlueJays.com. So you have an opportunity to pick up one of these Canada Day jerseys by logging on to BlueJays.com. Although the auction, as I'm told, starts at the end of this month, so give it some time. Mark down the one you want and then check back on the website on the 1st of August. Here, the 1st of July, it's Ricky Romero against James Shields. No score as we begin the third inning. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Veteran Gabe Kapler is the man at the plate as Romero faces the Rays for the first time in his career. — Tampa brings the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to the plate in the third. Romero deals a breaking ball. Strike 2. And what happened to Ben Zobrist during the break?
They were waiting for him. The glasses that Zobrist has in his hands were handed to him by the third base coach, Tom Foley, who's also the infield instructor. So now he switches them with Dave Martinez. So we'll see him out there with those sunglasses on.
Kapler goes after the changeup and misses. Romero picks up his third strikeout. They're still chuckling about.
I guess he forgot to pack his sunglasses.
I guess so.
For the trip to Canada. I believe they head to Texas from here.
They do. You'll need them down there too, as Hernandez flies to right. Let's get a word now from Sam Cosentino.
Jamie, when asked yesterday about Ricky Romero, Cito Gaston said when he first started to pitch here at the big league level, he was pitching like his pants were on fire, really rushing, and as a result, his body and his arm weren't in sync, and he was having trouble locating the ball. But now, with the straight line mechanics that you've talked about throughout the course of his starts, and being able to slow down and slow the game down, he's seemingly had a lot more success.
You know, when you rush like that, your body gets out in front of your arm, so your ball seems to float high and stay high in the zone. When he really gathers himself over that pitcher's rubber, stays together and has all of his momentum going to home, he really stays down in the zone, and that's something that he has done, and we've talked about in the scouting report. When you stay down, he is awfully tough. It makes his changeup really good, really effective when he can throw his fastball in the lower part of the strike zone.
The 1-2 in the dirt to B.J. Upton. Ricky has struck out 3 in this ball game, giving up just a single hit to Ben Zobrist. He has Upton 2-2. And the pitch grounded foul.
You see Ricky Romero having a little trouble with the mound. He kicked a big hunk of clay out of it the pitch previous to that one. But he hasn't had any problem here at home. He has been really good here at Rogers Center this year. 4-1 record with an ERA under 3. Opponents hitting just .220 off of Romero, so he feels really comfortable on that mound.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Upton as Romero gets the strikeout. Alex Rios leads off when we return on Rogers Sportsnet. sports bag is available to the first 10,000 fans who enter Rogers Center on Sunday, July 19th. The Boston Red Sox are here. Most Rogers Plus locations have tickets. You can call the ticket office or you can log on to BlueJays.com. A happy Canada Day to all. And we thank you for joining us today on Rogers Sportsnet as the Blue Jays finish a series with the Tampa Bay Rays. James Shields on the hill for the Rays. He faces Rios, Barajas, and Bautista here in the third inning. The first 6 Jays have been retired in order. As Shields works on Rios, 1-1. Rios is not having a good homestand. He's just 3 for 25 at the plate. And on the 1-1 pitch, here comes James Shields. 2 balls and a strike. Joe Madden likens the competitiveness of James Shields to Roy Halladay. I think the quote was, he's intense just walking across the floor of the locker room. Grounded to third. Here's Longoria. He goes across the diamond and gets Rios.
Shields has actually been pitching really well for Tampa Bay. The only thing he needs is a few runs to work with. His last 8 starts, 3-1 with an ERA under 3. He leads this team. Well, he's actually tied now with Matt Garza in quality starts with 10. And if you go throughout the whole year, he is the starter on this pitching staff who gets the fewest runs to work with. And he says, you know, the important thing is winning games, and they're winning games right now. So he doesn't really care. He wants to go out there and pitch well and do well. And just keep his team in the game and help them win.
And he rarely gives up a home run, Pat. On Friday against the Marlins, he allowed a home run to Hanley Ramirez. His first given up since May the 29th when Michael Kadire of the Twins hit one.
So that's 1 home run in his last 5 starts. He was talking the other day. He says the key to becoming a consistent pitcher at the major league level is the ability to do your best even when you don't have your best stuff when you take it out there. Now today it looks like he's got some pretty good stuff. He's got a slider working, his curveball working, and of course that changeup, which is his best pitch. Focus on getting outs with what you have instead of trying to be perfect every single time you take the mound. It sure helps to have a few extra bullets when you have your good stuff.
Boy, that's a nasty pitch, and Barajas misses it entirely. An 0-2 curveball, and there goes Barajas.
4th strikeout already for James Shields. Great arm action on that curveball.
So Shields has now retired 8 in a row and faces the number 9 hitter Jose Bautista. And he opens with a strike. Comes in with a fastball to put Bautista behind in the count. Jose finally picked up his 2nd home run of the year on Sunday. But the Blue Jays have been held to just 2 runs in the first 2 games against Tampa Bay. The 1-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle and picked up by Bartlett. But Bautista's on with an infield single. So the Jays rely on their number 9 hitter to pick up the first hit of the ballgame.
Placed perfectly if you're going to get an infield single. This is a very good inner defense by Tampa Bay. This ball not hit very hard as he runs that fastball in on his hands, and there's nothing that Bartlett, the shortstop, can do with it when he got to it. So it goes as an infield single to the Jays' first hit of the afternoon.
Two down then. Scudero's back up. He's 0 for 1. Scudero at the plate is having an awful homestand. He's 0 for his last 17. 3 for 33 on the homestand. And hits about a $130 career against James Shields. Shields deals, and it's 1-1.
He has put together good at-bats where he has really made the pitcher work in this homestand. Just hasn't been able to come up with any base hits. He's made him work. He has seen a lot of pitches, and when he has gotten his pitch, he hasn't hit it. He's popped it up.
Bautista the lead at first. 1-1. Breaking ball goes for strike 2. Shields working from the stretch for the first time today, and he drops into that Mike Mussina-like dip before delivering a pitch. Scutaro backs out after Shields takes time. It's in for ball 2. Should Scutaro get on, Aaron Hill awaits on deck. Here are the Blue Jays hoping to hit the board first in this series finale. And Bautista may have been leaning. He gets back in time, though.
He has been measuring James Shields over there. Shields hasn't really paid a whole lot of attention to him for the first 4 pitches of this sequence, and Bautista looked like he was leaning on that last one. So he shortens up his lead a little bit. That time a little bit quicker throw over to first base from James Shields. Not a bad idea to let the runner try and steal with 2 strikes, your leadoff hitter. If he gets thrown out, Marco Scutaro gets to do it all over again next inning.
Three balls and 2 strikes now. Scutaro has walked 53 times this year, more than any other Blue Jay. By a mile, in fact. Overbay is next with 41. Scutaro's on base average, a very respectable 381. It has actually dipped below 400 for the first time in recent weeks. Bautista's on his way. It's lined over the glove of Longoria. A fair ball into the corner. Bautista had a jump, and now he's rounding third and heading for home. The relay to home is late. Scutaro to third, and he's safe.
By that count, going to 3-2, that's going to give Bautista a little bit of a jump. Ball lined down the left field line. I was watching Nick Leyva. He's going to be very aggressive against Carl Crawford. They play good fundamental baseball, but not a very good throw from Longoria, and not a very good throw from Hernandez back to third. Watch this ball. Watch it how it bounces off the wall, and Crawford almost overruns it. By the time he gets it back in, very aggressive play by the Jays, and here comes the throw. Scutaro almost gets off the bag right there. He almost overslid third base, but a heads-up play to get back on there.
A chopper to third. Longoria hustles the throw to first to get Hill, and that's the inning. But the double by Scutaro brings home the first run of the game, and the Blue Jays have an early 1-0 lead. Talking up the upcoming back-to-back World Series reunion in August and discussing his favorite memories of playing with the Blue Jays. Look for more details on BlueJays.com. Your chance to chat live with Roberto Alomar. Jimmy Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino today on a gorgeous afternoon. The Blue Jays jump out to the 1-0 lead. And now here's Carl Crawford to lead off the fourth for the Tampa Bay Rays. Ricky Romero gets a swing, 1-1. Romero has walked one and given up a base hit. That's been it so far. He struck out 4 Rays, including Crawford. He takes a big cut, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now he gets the pitch with the lead. Look how aggressive he is against Carl Crawford, going right after him. I think that's what you have to do against these guys at the top of the lineup for the Rays. No messing around with these guys. You know, you end up walking them, and the next thing you know, they're standing over at third base. So just go and attack them.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Romero has been a wonderful revelation for the Blue Jays this year. He's managed to take advantage of an opportunity afforded him by injuries to people like Dustin McGowan and Sean Markham. Earned a spot in the rotation as the number 4 man. And he's sitting on 5 victories and 3 losses right now as it's fouled back.
You know, the thing that impresses me with Ricky Romero every time I see him is he seems to get better with every outing. He seems to learn something, seems to gain confidence a little bit more, and he is just throwing strikes galore this afternoon. He has had a great month of June. We were talking about it last inning. Look at the numbers for Romero in the month of June. Strikeouts per 9 innings. That's the one that jumps out for me. Almost 9 per 9 innings. 10 walks and 33 strikeouts.
He struck out 5 in this one as they post another Canadian maple in honor of the latest K. He got Longoria looking in the first. The 0-1 is fouled away. Romero's single game high is 9 strikeouts. He did that in Philadelphia on the 16th of June in a no decision. Since then, victories over the Washington Nationals and most recently the Phillies here at Rogers Center.
And he's got pitches that can get right-handed batters out. Very rarely do you find numbers against a left-handed pitcher where the left-handed batter is hitting for a higher average than a right-handed batter. But he's got that curveball and he's got that changeup. Those are the equalizers against right-handed batters. Righty's hitting just over 230 against Ricky this season.
Here comes the 2-2 to Longoria. Swung on and missed. He goes with a changeup away and gets him on the strikeout. So give Romero 6 strikeouts today.
There's that equalizer. Hard stuff early, soft stuff late, and it's in a great spot down and away to a good hitter.
He'll need to be good against Carlos Pena, who has 23 home runs this year. Leads the American League in that respect, just ahead of the Yankees' Mark Teixeira.
Did you bring your glove?
I should have. That was awfully close. There's a shot on the ground to the shifted defense, and there's Aaron Hill throwing out Pena. 1, 2, 3 on Canada Day. The Blue Jays head for the bottom of the fourth with a 1-0 lead. You're watching Blue Jays baseball. Young man standing between us can forge a Hall of Fame career. Pat, you and I can say we were there before he ever pitched a game in the major leagues. We want to introduce you to Jake Eliopoulos, who was taken 68th overall in the recent June draft in the second round by the Blue Jays. And he joins us now. What a thrill that must have been for you to get the phone call knowing you'd been taken so high by the Jays.
Oh, it was awesome. You know, we were just waiting pick by pick and more anxious as it went along. My family and I and my advisor were sitting around the table watching it on the internet. And, you know, finally they called my name, and, you know, we were very happy about it.
Did you have a feel that you would go that high?
You know, we were hoping. We had goals, and we just had to play it out as it went. You know, luckily it went in my favor. Got to go to the hometown crowd, which is awesome, so it's fun.
We're watching as Adam Lynn faces James Shields, and Lynn drives this ball to right field, and it gets past Kapler up against the wall. Lynn turns for second, and he's got a double to lead off the Jays half of the fourth inning.
That's 25 this year now for Adam Lynn. If you pitch him in, he's going to hit it hard the other way. They try to go away, but it splits the plate, and Lynn doesn't miss it. No chance for Kapler, the right fielder, to run that one down. Just hits too hard. Good start here in the fourth.
That was a nice little poke.
Now, you shouldn't be saying that. You're a pitcher, you know?
Hometown.
Okay, all right. I like that.
That's
I like
right.
that.
This is a future Blue Jay here in Jake Eliopoulos, who's watching now as Scott Rowland stands in, hoping to extend his hit streak. He's at 18 games right now. Man in scoring position for the Blue Jays, a swing and a miss.
So, Jake, I have to ask you, I saw you out here throwing the other day. What did it feel like to come down to the stadium and put the uniform on and get the throw?
It was probably the most craziest thing I've ever done. Walking onto the field, I got probably the most butterflies I've ever gotten. And, you know, but as I went along, you know, I got a lot calmer. I got a lot more focused, and it really did go well. I threw well. I got to meet a lot of Blue Jay affiliates, a lot of people within the organization. It's fun.
You weren't nervous with the big guys standing around watching you?
I didn't really notice them. I guess I noticed them a little bit, but I tried not to so I can focus. But it was really awesome.
I watched you throw a little bit. It looks like you've got a very loose arm. The ball was really coming out of your hand, and you're a big guy. You got a chance to fill out and maybe add some miles per hour to that fastball.
Yeah, it's going well so far. I'm trying to gain weight as I go along, but it's a long process. But can't wait till I fill out. It'll be fun.
Now, you're from Newmarket, Ontario.
Newmarket, yes.
When did you first start playing baseball, and maybe more to the point, what inspired you to get involved in baseball in the first place?
I started playing when I was about 3-4 back in Toronto, and my dad played for the Olympic team in '84. So I kind of take his roots. He was a catcher. So luckily he was a catcher because he still catches my bullpens now.
Great.
Which is pretty crazy. He still gets the full gear on and everything, so it's really fun.
When you get into the second round of a draft, it could be anybody calling your name or making that phone call. Were there other teams other than the Blue Jays who you felt were probably going to make that call before they got to you?
We had ideas of different teams that were definitely interested. We didn't know who was going to choose me, but we just had to wait it out. But there are definitely other teams that are interested.
And you are playing these days with the Brantford Red Sox of the Intercounty League. And I know now, though, you're with the Canadian junior team, just coming off some games as Overbay. Scorches this one right between the wickets. Pena went down and came up with a whole lot of nothing. And so Lynn comes in, and it's 2-0 for the Jays.
The sunglasses aren't going to help you when you hit a ball that hard. Pena, the Gold Glover last year. This will probably be his 8th error of the season, and it's right between the wickets. Smashed right under the glove, all the way down into the right field corner. And the Jays pick up a very important second run. Did make an error last year. He's got 8 already this year.
Pena is charged with an error. And Jake Iliopoulos is obviously bringing us a little good luck here. Funny how it works that way. We bring guests into the booth, Blue Jay related guests, and they tend to score a few runs here and there. So you're doing well.
Hopefully it keeps on going.
You haven't signed a contract yet.
I have not signed it. We're still in that process. Hopefully we can get something done soon.
Because I guess the time limit is about the 15th of August. You don't have as much time as they try and get Overbay leading off second.
Have the Jays said to you when you do sign what the idea is, where they're going to send you and things
We haven't
like that?
really talked to me personally about that. Probably my advisor talks to him a lot about that kind of stuff, but not towards me.
You don't care, do you?
I just want to go play. I just want to focus on baseball and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Concentrate and get out there and compete.
Yeah, definitely. Got to compete.
And you're playing now with the Canadian junior team. The whole team is here at the ballpark, and a lot of your teammates have already been drafted, haven't they?
Yep. We had about 40 Canadians drafted this year in general. A lot from the national team, which really boosts the ego of that situation right there.
And as you know, Greg Hamilton does such a wonderful job with Baseball Canada, and we certainly wish your junior squad the best of luck as we watch Kevin Millar. There's Overbay, who's leading off second. Now 2-0 for the Blue Jays over the Rays. And Shields with a 2-1 pitch coming to Millar. The DH flied out to center. Here's the pitch, and it's hit in the air to left field, but not deep. Crawford is there, and that's out number 2. So when you get back on this tour with the junior team, do you go back and pitch for Brantford?
Yeah, we get back July 9th. Then we're almost in the playoffs. Playoffs start about August. So it's about half season now. So yeah, I'm definitely going to play with them for the rest of the season.
What's your best pitch? What kind of stuff, if there's fans watching going, okay, let's see this kid pitching for the Jays in 5 or 6 years?
Fastball.
I think they're all my best pitch, I'd say. My fastball is live. My slider's got good bite. My changeup, it dies at the end. It's really a good pitch that's come a long, long way.
Did you play other positions growing up?
I guess you could say T-ball. I was a catcher.
Just
stand
like
behind
that?
the plate. Yeah.
That's it? Not out?
No,
not hitter?
I was shortstop, outfield, hit the ball. But once we moved to wood bats, it wasn't my...
You just went right to the mound and start getting better.
Yeah.
Is there a big league pitcher today that you try and pattern yourself after?
Yeah, definitely Roy Halladay. Definitely his work ethic is unbelievable day in and day out. He goes on that mound, does his business, not worrying about anything, and just gets the job done every single time.
Did you get a chance to meet him and talk to him?
I actually just missed him when I was in the clubhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, didn't get a chance. Just missed him, but he's awesome.
Now, I saw some video on the internet of you. You pitched at Wrigley Field, did you not?
Yeah, in the All-American Under Armour game last August. It was crazy. The first time I ever saw that many fans wanting autographs, so it was a thriller.
3 balls, no strikes to Alex Rios. With 2 out here in the 4th. An error by Pena has contributed to an additional run for the Jays. There's Overbay up at second. His smash brings home Lynn. Rios awaiting the 3-0 pitch from Shields, and here it comes. And it misses, ball 4.
Whenever I talk to young players, And I asked them, first time they put the uniform on and they go down on the field, it's a big place, isn't it?
Very big. You know, the adrenaline just all of a sudden just hits you like a wave or something like that, and you just got to calm yourself down and focus. And once you start calming yourself down, though, it's really not that big of a deal.
Were you in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I was in the clubhouse.
You got to dress in the clubhouse?
I got to dress, got the jersey, got to put on pants, everything. So
doesn't that give you the incentive to work a little bit harder to get back up here?
Definitely. You know, I look around when I came out and definitely want to be in this position soon. Definitely. So definitely makes me want to work harder to get there as fast as I can. And yeah.
What do you think you need to do to move quickly through the farm system?
I think I just need to keep working hard, keep doing what I'm doing day in and day out, and then I think if I do that, it's just gonna my athleticism and my talent's just gonna play out, and I'll go from there.
When was it that you first felt that people were watching you? When the first scout started to take an interest?
I'm not really sure. I'd have to say just before the All-American game, or maybe even the All-American game.
There's Longoria. He gets the force, and that's the inning. And Jake Iliopoulos, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you pitch for this team at some point in the near future.
Thanks a lot for having me. Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right,
thanks,
we've
Jake.
got a connected update coming up. We'll be back as the Jays lead the Rays to for an all-star appearance. He needs your help in a big way with respect to votes. Get on to BlueJays.com right now. Voting ends tomorrow, and Aaron is well behind in the numbers, but still obviously has an opportunity depending on players' choices, managers' selections. He deserves to be there in St. Louis. You can provide the help, though. Log on right now to BlueJays.com as the Blue Jays lead the Rays 2-0. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. It was nice of Jake Iliopoulos to stop by for a chat as the Blue Jays scored once in the fourth. Drilled to center field, and Zobrist drops one in center for a base hit. And that brings us to a Rogers Fast Fact, brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. What a classic on this day, 1997, when Jeff Juden outdueled Roger Clemens as the Expos beat the Jays 2-1, 50,000 and change. Juden was traded to Cleveland about 3 weeks later and held the Blue Jays to just 2 hits over the course of that game, and got the save from Ugi Urbina. There's Pat Burrell. It may have been strange for Burrell to wear this uniform on opening day after spending all those years with the Philadelphia Phillies. He's behind 2 strikes. Romero sets and fires, and it's 1-2.
I think it's a good deal for Tampa. You know, the way the market went, there weren't a lot of hitters out there. And if there was, they were, you know, pretty much out of their price range. But they got a slugger from the right side, a guy who can play DH for them. He's one of 3 players since 2001 who've had at least 20 home runs and 70 RBIs every single season for the last 7 seasons. So you pretty much know what you're going to get from Pat Burrell. Very consistent player.
He just struck out, though. Romero now with his 7th strikeout of the afternoon.
And it comes, it looks like another changeup. The thing about his changeup is it doesn't stay on the hitting plane. He's got great arm action. When he throws it in a good spot, but it's got that little dip at the end to get under those hitters' bats.
Jason Bartlett squares. Romero was quick off the mound. Bartlett 0 for 1. He flied out in the 2nd inning. Tampa got off to a slow start this year. At the end of April, they were 9-14, 5.5 games off the lead. The Jays at that time were 15-9. But they were also piling up victories against a weaker division. They saw a whole lot of the American League Central in the early going. Coming into this game, the Blue Jays are just 6-11 against American League Eastern teams.
You were talking about Tampa and the problems that they were having at the beginning of the year, but it seems like things are starting to come together. The month of June just ended, and they had the best record in the American League. They had the best batting average, tied for first for the runs and the home runs. So they seem to be getting it all together. And the relievers have been a big key for them in this surge that they have had. When you've got that good starting pitching like they have, you're going to stick around a long time.
Line to left, caught by Lynn. Bartlett's gone, 2 down. You just knew you couldn't keep the Rays down that long. Based on what we saw last year, good starting pitching. They can hurt you in various ways. The bullpen improved dramatically to start last year.
I know one of the things that Joe Maddon wanted to do with his starters, because last year was so long with the playoffs, the World Series, the season, and every pitch was so important. He wanted to kind of like ease his starters into spring training, knowing that the workload was going to be big again this year. So I wonder if that had some kind of effect coming out of the gate this year, that the starters weren't game ready really. They hadn't been really stretched out like they normally would be.
Here's Kapler, ball 1. Shields is a great example. For the 2nd straight year, he pitched 215 innings in just the regular season. That excludes the postseason.
You know, you don't know the stress that it puts on your starters to throw a 7-game series. You have the division series, the ALCS, and then the World Series. That extra pressure it puts on your starters. So there's the standings as we sit today. I think that was a good move to kind of like back off in spring training, let the guys kind of ease into the season. We have seen pitchers get hurt after making it all the way to the World Series and have those added innings where they're just not the same the next year. Josh Beckett comes to mind. Jeremy Bonderman comes to mind when he pitched for Detroit in 2006. Joe Maddon thought that process out.
Top of the 5th. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Swung on and missed. The count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Romero working toward his 8th strikeout of the afternoon after giving up a leadoff single to Ben Zobrist. Zobrist goes, and they've got him. Over Beta Hill, he's tagged out. A victim of that quick move by Romero. Trust is Canadian baseball royalty, Mr. Fergie Jenkins, who is the only man in Cooperstown that you can safely say, Happy Canada Day, Mr. Jenkins.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you stopping by as we watch the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Jays are on top 2-0. As the best player this country has ever produced is watching as Jose Bautista, the right fielder, leads off the Blue Jays half of the 5th inning. Now, it's always been known that you're from Chatham, Ontario, or is it Blenheim? I hear this constant struggle of 2 towns trying to claim you as their son.
Well, I was born in Chatham, and in 1972 I bought 2 farms in the Blenheim area, and I lived there for like 17 years, but Chatham's my hometown.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, guys.
When was the last time you were here in Toronto?
About a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was up here. Yeah, my foundation's in St. Catharines.
And you have a golf tournament?
Yeah, I fly into Toronto most of the time. Perfect.
Well, we certainly appreciate you having some time to stop by and talk with us.
Well, it's good to be here. I'm glad they're winning today, too.
You're bringing them good luck, Fergie.
I sure hope so.
Saw you just a couple of weeks ago. Great speech at the Diamond Club in Cincinnati.
Thank you.
Thank you. He was telling some old stories about the best one was, Fergie, and you got to tell it about Willie McCovey in San Francisco. I was just laughing. I've told all my friends that story, Sid.
Yeah, well, it's a true story. Willie McCovey was like wearing people out in 1967, myself included, in the spring training. Only 3 teams in Arizona, Oakland, San Francisco, and the Cubs, so had to play a lot of times against San Francisco. Opened up in San Francisco against Marichal, and McCovey hits a 2-run homer off me, goes over the player parking lot into the fan parking lot. I mean, incredible. Okay, reciprocated. The next time we play San Francisco at about a month and a half in Wrigley Field, he punishes me again. We go back in September because back then you had to play against the Western Division teams 12 times. I'm rooming with Ernie Banks, just get to the hotel, and the phone rings. We're waiting for our luggage to come up. And Ernie says, get the phone. So I got the phone, and on the other end of the phone was the concierge, says, your car is here. And I said, well, let me get Ernie. And the guy says, no, Mr. Jenkins, it's for you. Mr. McCovey doesn't want to make sure you get to the ballpark on time.
So he sent the car for you.
A Cadillac limo, and I took it to the ballpark,
No
too.
kidding.
That's great stuff.
That is terrific. Here's James Shields facing Marco Scutaro. Now, Mr. Jenkins, as this ball is popped up by Scutaro, very close to where you're sitting, Ben Zobrist is there. If there's one statistic that impresses me more than any, in the year that you won the Cy Young Award, 1971, you started 39 games and you completed 30 of them. It seems the complete game has really gone the way of the dinosaur, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, I think because of the fact that you have so many pitchers on the staff now. You know, I broke in the early 60s. You only had 9 pitchers on the staff. Now you have 13 or 14. So I think the manager has more of a selection because you've got a lot of holders, setup, and closers. So it's a matchup now, left, right. And in my era, that didn't happen.
Great career, Hall of Fame, 3,000 strikeout club, but you never made the postseason.
No, 18 years. Didn't get a chance to get there. Would have wanted to, but just didn't happen.
Came close with the Cubs in '69.
Once with the Cubs, once with Boston in '77. But you all remember Reggie Jackson.
He had something to say about that.
During the season, I mean, he hit like 240. But in the playoffs in the World Series, the ball couldn't miss his bat.
There's a shot to right field. Kapler is under it. And hey, listen, is there any chance you could stay for another half inning?
I can do that, sure. That was a quick inning. All
yeah,
right, good enough.
Ferguson Jenkins will stick around and chat with us when we continue.
Matchup, and it certainly is doing that. 5 innings. Look at all the strikeouts between the two pitchers. They have all 3 of their pitchers working. Their pitches working. It is what it is. The hitters have got to be aggressive at the plate because these guys have been all over that home plate today.
And during a good matchup on the mound, we're joined by Hall of Fame class 1991 Ferguson Jenkins. And Mr. Jenkins, I know you've had a chance to watch Roy Halladay from time to time. There are some who say he certainly has the ability to be a Hall of Famer. Would you agree with that?
He's putting together pretty good numbers. He would fit right in with the guys that played in the 60s and 70s because he goes out there and he wants to complete a lot of the work that he goes out there and is doing. And Cito's given him that opportunity, which I think is good. You've got a coach, Brad Arnsberg. I coached him in Oklahoma City when he was there in the mid 80s.
There's a one-hop. Sorry.
That's a good thing because Brad Arnsberg can relatively judge good talent.
He certainly can.
You coached him in, was that college?
No, Oklahoma City. He was playing for the Rangers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, 88, 89.
In the Texas system.
Yes.
Okay.
How does becoming a Hall of Famer change your life?
Well, you get invited to games like this.
You would have been invited anyway.
Yeah, I think because of the fact that HOF behind my name, I do appearances from time to time, maybe even some coaches' clinics. I'll do memorabilia card shows, but it's enhanced my life, that's for sure.
And it allows you to do some charity work.
Yes, it does. Yeah, we've got a real good charity in Southern Ontario and St. Catharines in the Niagara region, and we support the Red Cross, juvenile diabetes, cancer research, so many different charities that if we have the opportunity to go there, we support them wholeheartedly.
Before we get out of here, I want to talk about your foundation, Fergie. Where can people contact you?
Well, our listing is www.fergusonjenkinsfoundation.org, and we're right there in St. Catharines, 67 Commerce, and our business number is 905-688-9418.
You'd be surprised. People will be scribbling that down.
For sure. I hope they do.
You have golf tournaments. What other kind of things does the foundation do?
We do. If you have a charity, we'll come to your charity and support it. We'll sign bats, balls, and we'll give you a shirt that you can auction off. Or we go to All-Star games. We go to Cub Fest, Texas Ranger Fest. We've been invited here once for the Toronto Fest once. So, I mean, the nice thing about it is the charity is available. All you have to do is phone us, let us know 4 or 5 months in advance, and we'll be prepared to come.
2 balls and no strikes. Romero facing B.J. Upton. And Upton hits this one to center field. Rios into the shadows. And the Rays go down 1-2-3 in the 6th. What an honor it is to talk to Ferguson Jenkins. We thank you for joining us, Mr. Jenkins.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Fergie. Good to talk to you again.
Take care, bye.
Hall of Fame class 19.
And Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Nothing like a little jazz to warm up your Canada Day. And if you're a fan of the Blue Jays, you'll like this score, 2-0 against the Rays. And the Jays will bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning with Adam Lind, Scott Rowland, and Lyle Overbay coming up. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino, wishing a happy belated 86th birthday to Joanne Henderson, who's watching today in Kelowna, British Columbia. Lynn doubled in the 4th inning and came around to score after Overbay scorched a ball underneath the legs of Carlos Pena, and the 2-base error allowed Lynn to cash. So it's the Jays 2, the Rays no score. This ball flied to right. Kapler's out there. And he holds off the center fielder to make the catch. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. This is the first of 5 consecutive day games the Blue Jays will play. They've got an off day tomorrow and then head for brand new Yankee Stadium beginning Friday. 4 straight day games there against the New Yorkers, and all 4 can be seen here on Rogers Sportsnet.
You think the hitters are just, their bats are kind of
salivating?
Like, just running and jumping into the the bat bag to get to New York as quickly as possible.
That's going to be exciting. Now look at the new stadium as Roland golfs this one into the seats in left. He's behind in the count 0-2, and in fact is 0-4-2 this afternoon.
When you start facing all these good teams like we talked about in the opening, you're going to run into good pitching. We've seen 3 here in this series against Tampa, and this is what the pitching matchups will be for the Blue Jay batters in New York. They get A.J. Burnett right off the bat on Friday, and then Chin-Ming Wang, who seems to be pitching a lot better. Jabba Chamberlain and Andy Pettit next Monday afternoon. So that's when you make your way through the American League East, you're going to run into some great pitchers.
Burnett's first loss came here at Rogers Center on May 12th. In easily one of the most entertaining games we've seen all year. The Blue Jays won it 5-1 behind a complete game effort from Roy Halladay, who ran his record that day to 7-1. Rolling up the middle, and the hit streak continues. A base hit. Make it 19 straight games.
He just has that ability to adjust within an at bat. 2 strikes, he usually changes up and gets up on that bat, chokes up a little bit, and shortens that swing. Not a whole lot of movement. The swing is nice and short, and that hit streak now runs up to 19.
And he is getting a little closer to the Blue Jays record hit streak established by Sean Green. 28 consecutive games in 1999. Still a ways to go, though. And as you saw, some good pitchers to face over the next 4 games. So here's Overbay, who reached on an error his last time up and led to a run. 0-for-2. Lyle is 0 for his last 15. This ball is a souvenir. Shields was the only Tampa Bay Ray to win a World Series game last year when he beat Brett Myers in Game 2. Went 5 2/3 in that game. Did not allow a run and scattered 7 hits. He dips and readies for Overbay. The 1-1 pitch is slapped to Pena. He goes to second. Bartlett covering, back to first, but not in time to get Overbay.
It's a tough one to turn. That 3-6-3 double play, especially when it is not hit very hard. Pena charges this ball, makes a good throw. Now he's going to take himself out of the play. So it's got to be James Shields over there. He tries his best with the little stretch at the end there, but it'll go as a fielder's choice.
Kevin Millar 0-for-2. He's flied out twice. Ball 1. In January of 2008, Shields signed a 4-year deal with the Rays with 3 one-year team options, so he could be with them until 2014. And if he cashes in on the contract over that length, will make $44 million. There's Overbay, held on by Pena. 2 down, bottom of 6. Kevin Millar at the dish. The 1-2 pitch inside. So you and Fergie Jenkins were teammates?
Yeah.
You've played with everybody.
I pretty much. Back in 1982 with the Cubs.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. Down goes Millar, leaving a man. 6 in the books. 2-0 Jays. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
Not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership.
Thank you, Mr. Tabler.
You got it.
It's the Blue Jays 2, the Rays nothing. Carl Crawford base hit to left field. And a rabbit is loose as he gets on as the first man up in the 7th inning.
Not wasting any time. That's what we were talking about. When these pitchers who have done so well this afternoon, I think you have to be aggressive at the plate. You really can't work the count against a Ricky Romero or James Shields because they throw too many strikes. They just have missed a lot of bats this afternoon.
Crawford with 40 steals as he leads off at first and is checked by Romero. Evan Longoria is the batter, twice a strikeout victim.
Even though they are down by a couple of runs, the big part of their game is running. And I would anticipate that Carl Crawford, once he feels comfortable over there, he's not going to be waiting around at first base. He has been the best base stealer since the 2003 season. 333 of them.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. You said as soon as he gets comfortable. How long do you figure it takes against a left-hander who you've never faced before?
I think it's going to take a few pitches. You know, he's getting out there. He doesn't have the aggressive lead like we saw a couple of nights ago, where he had 1 foot on the carpet and 1 on the dirt.
The 1-1, driven to center field, not deep. And Rios brings it in with a little more on the running game. Let's go down to Sam Cosentino.
Jamie, I spoke to Joe Madden about this pressing style of baseball, and it was cultivated going back to his days when he ran the Angels minor league system. From there, he worked as a bench coach under Mike Scioscia, who he as we know, really likes to press the pace as well, and that's something that he wanted to do when he took over this Tampa Bay club, but you got to have the horses to do it, and surely he has that.
That's how the Angels manufacture runs. They scratch them together, and of course Madden came from that organization.
That's one of the things that Brian Butterfield told me yesterday. He says on the scouting report that he goes over with his players, he put down Los Angeles Angels.
Base hit to center field for Pena, and Crawford heads for third.
That is a huge mistake right there. A huge mistake by the center fielder Alex Rios. There was no way that he was going to get Carl Crawford at third base, not with that kind of speed. But his attempt to try and throw him out at third base lets Carlos Pena move up into scoring position, takes the double play out, and puts the tying run in scoring position. There's no way he's going to throw him out from out there. Watch this guy. He just runs too well. That's the run that's not important. It's the guy at the plate. Now the tying run gets into second base.
Now the guy at the plate is at second base in Pena, and Ben Zobrist is the batter.
And he's got 2 hits already this afternoon, does Zobrist.
He doubled in the second, singled to center field in the fifth. One away, the 1-0 pitch from Romero. We'll see if this mistake by Rios comes back to haunt the Blue Jays, who lead 2-0.
You got to know who's running. You got to know the situation. And now Romero is being very careful with Zobrist. They might go ahead and just put him on to set up the double play. It's going to be hard though with the guy on deck and Pat Burrell, because he doesn't hit a lot of balls on the ground.
Ball 4. Zobrist walks. The bases are now loaded. Burrell will step in 0 for 2.
Burrell's got that nice little uppercut swing, so you get a lot of balls up in the air. It's going to be tough to get him to get that ball on the ground. If they do, they have a chance to get out of here.
He has only 3 home runs this year. And look at what the Rays are doing with the bases loaded. A .372 average with 4 grand slams. As Burrell takes strike 1. Grounded to short. Scudero to Hill, over to first. That's exactly what Romero was looking for. He gets the double play ball, and he works his way out of a jam.
How about Aaron Hill staying in there against Zobrist, who tries to take him out, but a good strong throw helps out his rookie pitcher. And Romero pitches out of it.
Seen some terrific pitching today from both Shields and Romero, and some key hits by the Blue Jays, who lead it 2-0 entering the last of the seventh.
Ricky had a run of 19 consecutive batters without getting a hit broken up against the Phillies, and he's back at it again here today. 6 innings of shutout ball.
There's a shot to right and a catch made by Kapler. He takes one away from Alex Rios.
The outfield, it's awfully tough to get that ball down on the ground against these Rays. They've got a lot of speed, and Shields likes what he sees from his right fielder. They cover a lot of ground. They throw to the right base. They're accurate with their throws. Kapler, who is not an everyday player, has 3 outfield assists. Good play there.
Strike one on Rod Barajas. Barajas, the catcher, 0 for 2. The Jays are hanging on here in the bottom of the 7th. They scored their first run in the 3rd when Jose Bautista picked up an infield single, the first hit against Shields in the game. And then Marcos Scudero doubled him home. Scudero reaching 3rd base as the throw in from left was not cut off. Golf to left, well hit. This one's got something under it, and then she is gone. A 3-0 game now as Barajas goes deep.
And he can take his time coming around the bases. He's had that hamstring problem, but he's so valuable to the team behind the plate with his leadership and his game calling skills and with the bat. RBI number 38, home run number 8. It's a hanging breaking ball from Shields, and Rod rips it over the wall in left field. How about the reaction from James Shields? You talked about it. He'd only given up 1 home run in his last 5 starts. Make that 2.
So the Jays increase their lead now to 3-0. Barajas picking up his 8th home run and first since the 23rd of June against Cincinnati. Here's Bautista, 1 for 2. He scored the opening run of the ball game. Shields with the 2-1, swung on and missed. Bautista walks away from the batter's box to collect himself, and on 2-2.
Shields is ready to go, isn't he?
Catcher set up outside, but that one looked like it missed over the plate.
Probably wondering, what do I need to do to get some runs? He's been matched up against some good pitchers. Good change up there to get Bautista.
On the Road is brought to you by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. An American League Eastern trip is coming up. In fact, the Blue Jays depart right after this game. Despite a day off tomorrow, it will be spent in New York. 4 with the Yankees, 3 with Tampa Bay, and then 3 in Baltimore.
All teams with winning records at home. That'll take the Blue Jays right up into the All-Star break. A really, really tough road trip coming up.
Next trip after the All-Star break is off to Seattle and Oakland, as the Jays make their only visit this year to Safeco Field in Seattle. The dates there: Monday, July 27. A 3-game series. So many people in parts of British Columbia, Alberta, and even Saskatchewan make plans to come down and see the Blue Jays. Here's the 1-1 to Scudero. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch from Shields. Hernandez didn't even budge.
Yeah, didn't even blink, did he?
Ho-hum, reach back, grab another baseball.
Shields is averaging right around 14 pitches per inning. 3rd and 4th inning took their toll on him. Gave up a couple of runs in those innings and left 3 batters.
That's the 2nd fewest pitches per inning to Roy Halladay, who leads the league in that respect. And on 2-2, gets strike 3 on Scudero, who tosses the bat. He's a victim of Shields. However, Rod Barajas hit his 8th home run of the year, and the Blue Jays now lead it 3-0. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Go to the Hockey Central panel, and they will get ready for a 4 o'clock Eastern press conference presenting Jay Bouwmeester as the newest member of the Calgary Flames. So stay tuned for that as soon as this game ends. One led by the Blue Jays at 3-0. As we begin the 8th inning, Jason Bartlett at the plate for the Rays, facing Ricky Romero, who is spinning yet another good ball game today. Romero has yet to give up a run, and he's given up just 4 hits. Worked his way out of a jam last inning, as both Crawford and Pena got on 2nd and 3rd, but after a walk to Zobrist, Pat Burrell grounded into a double play.
He's made some big pitches when he's had to, and he's picked off some runners when he's had to. First batter of the game. B.J. Upton looked like they were at it again. Walks on 4 pitches, and boom, picks him off. Same thing with Zobrist in the 5th inning.
In the 8th, it's Bartlett, Kapler, and Hernandez coming up for Tampa Bay. 3 balls and a strike. Romero deals. The count is full. So here comes the payoff from Romero, and it's high for ball 4. He's disgusted with himself.
Yeah, disgusted because it's the leadoff batter. You want to just pound that strike zone. fell behind and then lost him. Not by much, just up and away.
Ball one to Gabe Kapler. Kapler has struck out and grounded out. Ball two.
Slow down right here. It looks like he's kind of rushing himself now. And I bet you that's exactly what Rob Barajas is saying to him. Okay, hey, calm down. Young pitchers, they get to this situation here, they want to rush to finish. Slow down now, take it one pitch at a time.
And he'll be the first to tell you he overthrows when he gets too excited.
Yeah. That was the problem, and Sam was talking about it at the top of the show. His problem that he had in spring training, that his lower half was getting ahead of his arm. And everything was up and away. This is just, excitement to get out there and finish this game off.
The 2-1 pitch, strike two called. His learning process in spring training wasn't all mechanical. It used to be that Ricky Romero, as you see Jason Fraser warming, got very apprehensive about his starts. Brad Arnsberg took him aside and said, you've got to love your starting assignment. Embrace the day. And it's shown this year, a 5-3 record. He's been a pleasant surprise. And now Romero looks in on Barajas. He's got the sign on 2-2. Here's the pitch, grounded to Hill. He underhands to Scudero, who drops the ball. Oh my, that could prove costly. Tailor-made double play, and Scudero drops the ball.
Yeah, tailor-made, but you got to know where the shortstop is playing with a big right-handed pull hitter. Scudero was really pulled off the bag. The throw was just a little bit too quick. You see, he's not to the bag yet. And it's hard to find the ball, find the bag, and find the runner. He just drops it when he tries to jump over the runner. That had tailor-made written all over it. That's the time where you just kind of slow things down yourself as a fielder.
Brad Arnsberg visits with Ricky Romero, who's now thrown 100 pitches. And Joe Madden will send out a pinch hitter for Michael Hernandez, as Willie Ibar comes off the bench. Part of this conversation might be, Pat, that, hey, it's not your fault that there are two on here. You did what you had to do.
Just keep doing what you've been doing all afternoon long. Make good pitches, and good things will happen. This is where you have to pick up your teammate right here. He did it last inning when that throw was over the cutoff man's head and took the double play out of the way. He picked up his teammates. He's got to do it again here in the 8th inning.
Ibar comes off the bench, pinch hitting. First and second, no one out in the 8th. And as he proved last night, he's got some power. Ibar has hit 7 home runs this year, driven in 25, hitting .287. One ball and one strike. The Rays have Bartlett at second and Kapler at first, and they are trailing 3-0. Here's what Ibar did last night off Scott Richmond.
This made it 3-0. The third solo home run off of Richmond last night. He's got power from both sides of the plate. 7 home runs.
A line shot right at Scudero, and they get him at the bag. They double up Bartlett.
That a way to come back right there. You dropped a tough throw on a play that should have been a double play, and then the middle infielder picks up their pitcher. The line drive gets 2. That's second. Tying run at the plate. You don't want to stray too far out there, but your first response as a base runner, you want to get off there and you want to score that run, but you can't. And he's picked off. His first instinct right there, Bartlett, was to take a step to his right.
The last 2 innings, the Blue Jays have pulled off 2 critical double plays. They did so in the 7th with the bases loaded and 1 out. And now Ibar, pinch hitting, lines out to Scudero, who doubles up Bartlett at second. So B.J. Upton comes back up. He's 0 for 2.
Boy, he has just lived on the outside part of the plate against right-handers all afternoon. Even if they would swing the bat, there's not a whole lot they can do when he throws it down there.
One and 2. Here comes Romero, and it's shot foul. Romero with 7 strikeouts in this game, but none since the 5th inning when he got Burrell. Those collected here, wheeling him on. Here's the pitch. A changeup away, 2-2.
It's close. That's where he's been all afternoon.
Here she comes, down low, and it's a full count to Upton.
Pretty good eye to lay off of that one. That was a good changeup.
This will enable Kapler to get a running start. He goes. The pitch is outside. Ball 4.
Good at bat by Upton. You can see that one is just off the plate. And that line out double play is looming pretty huge right now.
No question there. Crawford is getting serenaded here. First pitch drilled high in the air. Bautista at the wall. That came awfully close. But once again, Ricky Romero finds his way out of trouble. He's pitched 8 beautiful innings here against the Rays.
picked up his team after a couple of mistakes. This one in the 7th inning, a big double play. Watch how Aaron Hill gets taken out by Zobrist, but he has the courage to stay in there, complete the double play. Romero's out of the 7th. Then in the 8th, after the first 2 batters get on, the line drive right at Scudero, and they get a huge double play. So the Blue Jays have been very good today getting out of trouble.
Visit BlueJays.com to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Super Fan Contest. As Ricky Romero gets the handshakes down the line. What a nice job by Romero today, chasing his 6th win of the season. 8 strong innings against the Rays. He does not allow a run and gives up 4 hits. Meanwhile, James Shields continues to go in the bottom half as Aaron Hill gets under this and flies it to center field.
And Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
What a gorgeous day for baseball on Canada Day. And we wish you all the best on this national holiday. The Blue Jays lost their first ever Canada Day game at Old Exhibition Stadium on July 1st of 1977 against the Texas Rangers. Pitcher Jeff Bird was pounded that day. Bert Campaneris hit a home run against Tom Bruno way back when.
Did you say 1977?
1977. Rookie pitcher Jeff Bird, who had 1 year with the Jays and finished 2-13. Here's Shields. Skied to center field and well hit. This one is way up there and she's gone.
Adam Lind had a great home run month in June, and he starts off July the same way. Already a double today. And now he's got great extension and lift through that pitch. Lands into the batter's eye in center field, and that youngster has himself a souvenir.
Look how
loving
happy
it.
He is.
That's awesome.
He's taking that baseball to bed. Young man gets a home run shot by Adam Lind. It extends Toronto's lead. It's now 4-0. Scott Rowland now. And he blasts this one to left field, and you can kiss that one goodbye too. Back-to-back shots for the Jays.
One of the things that the Jays have started to do again is hit home runs. There was a lull in the month of May where they didn't hit the long ball. This is number 3 of the afternoon. And Shields doesn't give up a lot.
He had given up 1 home run in 5 previous starts. He's given up 3 today, and he gives up the ball to manager Joe Madden. End of the line for James Shields as the Blue Jays extend the lead to 5-0. Tampa goes to the bullpen and will address the change after this.
Another changeup that is up in the strike zone. He's been keeping it down all afternoon, but this inning it has been up. And the Blue Jay batters have not missed at home run number 6 for Roland. And I think James knows that his afternoon was going to be over after that pitch.
So he goes 7 1/3, allowing 5 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits, strikes out 8, but gives up 3 home runs, and now gives way to left-hander Randy Choate.
Third time that we have seen Choate in this series. He has come in against left-handers and done a nice job this year. He's only given up 1 hit all year long versus left-handed batter.
A comeback year for Choate, who spent the last few years up and down with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He once pitched in the World Series with the Yankees. He's up there against Lyle Overbay. 1 strike on Overbay. And a base hit to center field. Boy, Ricky Romero is awfully happy for the run support today. They've given him 5. The Rays gave nothing to James Shields, and Randy Choate has an early afternoon. Brent Balfour, the right-hander, comes in. Another pitching change as he comes in to face Kevin Millar. Hockey Central picks things up when this game ends and takes you to 4 o'clock Eastern Time or 2 Mountain. At that time on Sportsnet West, you can see the Flames introduce their newest defenseman, free agent Jay Bouwmeester. And that comes up at 4 Eastern, 2 o'clock Mountain on Sportsnet West. First, there's a ball game to finish as Grant Balfour, the Australian, comes in.
Big, hard-throwing pitcher. He's a strikeout pitcher. Mid-90s fastball, upper level of the zone. He can get you out. 35 strikeouts in the 35 innings. Last year for Tampa, he had a great strikeouts per 9 innings ratio, up over 12 per 9.
Line softly to left. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Balfour as he gets Millar. The Jays have scored twice here in the 8th. Back-to-back solo home runs from Adam Lind and Scott Rowland. The Blue Jays today have been aided by the double play ball after some mistakes. One, a costly error certainly could have been a costly error by Rios, who allowed Pena to reach second in the 7th inning after failing to hit the cutoff.
Yeah, not a physical error.
Not an error in the scorecard.
But a mental error. You're not going to, for the most part, throw out Carl Crawford from deep left center field, going first to third.
But Romero got a double play ball a little later on. And he also got a line shot right to the glove of Marco Scutaro an inning later that got him 2 quick outs in a troublesome situation. So the Blue Jays have been fortunate. And now, thanks to a couple of home runs, extend their lead. It's now 5-0. Balfour in to face Rios, 0-2. Here's the pitch. He gets him swinging. Alex is gone. And the Blue Jays head for the 9th inning, up 5-0, hoping to break Tampa's 7-game winning streak. He does not allow Tampa to score, and this is a very good offense, giving up just 4 hits and getting in and out of trouble in the later innings.
Yeah, reaching 8 innings for the 2nd time this season. He did it at Minnesota. Shutout ball in 8 innings for Ricky Romero. And now when you have the lead and you go late into the game, it's time to put your best defense out there. Vernon Wells comes in, takes over in center field. Rio shifts from center over to right, and Jose Bautista, who started the game in right field, will now take over in left field. And the new pitcher on the mound, Jason Frazier.
He's having an outstanding year, 5-1, a 2.03 ERA. He saved 2 games, though this is not a save opportunity. Just trying to finish up a victory for Ricky Romero. And he'll face the heart of the order with Evan Longoria, Carlos Pena, and Ben Zobrist due for the Rays. Tampa Bay has won 7 straight coming in. The Blue Jays have lost 4 in a row. And if you're going to go to New York, you might as well go on a high note. And this is what the Blue Jays intend to do today.
Yeah, beat a hot team. You beat them at home, and it gives you a little confidence heading on the road with a big road trip.
So here's Frazier versus Longoria. Strike 1. Despite the wonderful season, Rookie of the Year in 2008, Longoria did not have a good World Series. He went 1 for 20 against the Philadelphia Phillies, perhaps running out of gas a little bit near the end. But boy, did he make a name for himself last year, and ended up doing all kinds of things in the offseason, like playing in the Bob Hope Classic and partying with Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion.
Hey, that's what happens, right?
When you shoot to stardom.
When you're the guy.
We remind you that the Blue Jays will be off tomorrow and then start a 4-game set with the Yankees on Friday afternoon from New York. Please join us then on Sportsnet beginning at 1 Eastern time when Brian Tallett faces A.J. Burnett. Swing and a miss, and Frazier gets Longoria.
Third time today that Longoria has gone down. Might be surprised a little bit by the velocity from Jason Frazier. He throws that one right by him. He had never faced Frazier before that at bat. So the shuffling of the offensive lineup for the Blue Jays have paid dividends.
Seems to have worked.
Yeah, it's great. Adam Lynn gets put in the number 3 hole. He's got 2 hits, a home run and a double. Scott Rowland just keeps rolling along with a couple of more hits.
It's a good bet, though, that Vernon Wells will be right back in the 3 spot when play begins on Friday in New York.
Good to see the home runs back. You know, that's such a big part of baseball. You know, get you into games or extend leads.
No balls, 2 strikes on Pena. There's a smile from Gene Tennis and Brian Butterfield. They haven't had reason to laugh the last little while. Two strikes on Pena. Frazier sets and fires, and he got him. We are now 1 out away from NHL free agency coverage on Hockey Central, coming up immediately following the ball game. And again, coming up at the top of the clock, 4 Eastern, 2 Mountain Time on Sportsnet West, live coverage of the press conference introducing Jade Bomeister to fans of the Calgary Flames. 30,533 the paid attendance today at Rogers Center. Most of them still here, most of them wearing red, most of them happy that the Blue Jays are an out away from defeating the Rays. Frazier opens with a strike to Zobrist. Zobrist has reached all 3 times. He's doubled, singled, and walked. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it misses off the plate.
Fans have been in it all afternoon, and the Jays have given them something to cheer about.
It was a rough month of June for the Jays. They fell off the pace a little, finishing up 12-14. And they're now an out away from starting July on a winning note. Two balls and a strike on Zobrist. Here comes the pitch. Now 3-1.
You can see Frazier upset with himself. He knows it's 5-0. He doesn't want to be walking anybody. He's going to challenge Zobrist with a fastball, but he just missed. Snatched that ball back from Barajas.
He walks him. Frazier loses Zobrist. Well, the Rays have not scored in this game, but you can't blame number 18. He's done his part, reaching base all 4 times. Their DH, though, Pat Burrell, is 0 for 3. Grounding out twice, once into a critical double play, and striking out once. Here he is facing Frazier. Swung on and missed as Zobrist picks up second base. Defensive indifference shown there. Frazier comes with the 0-1, catches the corner, strike 2.
Good hard fastball down and away. Burrell has faced Frazier one time. He's 1 for 1. Can drop that changeup on him right now.
Here's the 2-strike pitch. And it runs inside on Burrell. Got him, and that's the ball game. On Canada Day, the Blue Jays shut out the Rays. They're back in the win column.
Great job by Romero. The home runs come back. Blue Jays played great defense, and Jason Frazier strikes out the side in the 9th inning. So a good team win by the Jays here this afternoon.
A 5-0 victory, in fact. Standing by, Darren Millard, Nick Kiprios, and Doug McClain for all the news regarding NHL free agency. We take you now to Hockey Central as the Jays beat the Rays 5-0. Thanks for watching.